Yes! 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 Yes!
Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, like, join it or something.
Everyone, Lucimus Prime here. So I have just got back from watching the newest installment of the DC Extended Universe, which is of course none other than this year's Black Adam. And yeah, oh man, just wow. So this is a movie which I have been long awaiting for ever since it was announced that Dwayne The Rock Johnson would be playing Black Adam in this DC Extended Universe, and when they confirmed he'd be given his own movie. And I was really hoping this movie would be worth the wait, and oh my goodness, right? This movie was 100% worth the wait, right? I absolutely loved it. This is easily one of my favourite movies of this year, and one of my favourite movies in the DC Extended Universe. Wow. Oh my goodness, this was absolutely incredible. So, now... So what is this movie about, guys? Now, okay, so this review is going to contain major spoilers. So if you've not seen the movie, I suggest that you go watch it right now because it's currently in theatres right now. So if you don't want to be spoiled, I suggest you go off this video and go watch the movie right now as soon as you can. So I'm going to give you the countdown from 5 to 0. So yeah, so you've been warned, guys. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so now... So this movie begins, guys, with a pretty cool flashback taking place in 2600 BC, where we see the tyrannical king of Karnak, which is the kingdom where Black Adam, of course, is from, and the king is called Ankot, and he's created the crown of Sabbac, which is known to give a wearer great power. And after attempting to stage a revolt, a young slave boy is given the power of Shazam, which transforms him into Karnak's heroic champion, which of course is Tef Adam himself. And he then kills Ankot and ends his reign. And so this is definitely a really awesome flashback. And what's also cool is we had a cameo appearance by Jarman Hansu as the Wizard, which was really awesome to see. And I love how this movie finally, of course, confirmed, you know, how Black Adam's origins were. After we of course, were given the hint of it in Shazam in 2019, which was definitely really cool, how we saw like a hologram of it. And we get to see him in this movie, which was really awesome. Then... after this really awesome flashback, we then cut to the present day, where Karnak is like, you know, like a modern day city now, and it's being oppressed by the Intergang. And the archaeologist called Adriana Tomaz, who is played by Sarah Shahi, she's a university professor and a resistance fighter in Karnak, and she tries to locate the crown with the help of her brother Kareem and colleagues called Samir and Ishmael Gregor. And so... and as she obtains the crown from the ruins, they're ambushed by members of the Intergang. But however, Adriana, of course, reads an incantation, and she says, of course, Shazam. And of course, guess who shows up, guys? Yep, it's, of course, Tef Adam himself. And so The Rock, right? Oh my goodness, right? The Rock really, really nailed the role in this movie, guys. He really did, right? He was such a perfect casting for a role, absolutely badass. Like, I think I probably regard it as my favourite role of Dwayne Johnson because he really nailed it, in my opinion. He really did. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Like, he was such a badass. And we get a really awesome scene where he slaughters all of the Intergang troopers, pretty much, who are attacking. Oh, wow. Like, that scene was just pure badass and epic. Coupled with Painted Black by the band called Rolling Stones was definitely really awesome to see. Oh, it was absolutely incredible. Oh, wow. Like, I could not believe what I was watching. It was just absolutely brilliant. Just what movie I wanted to see. And I'm so glad I saw it in the cinema because this is definitely a movie definitely worth watching in the cinemas. And the visuals were absolutely stunning and beautiful to watch. They really were. Oh, man. Like, just absolutely incredible to see. And also as well, oh, right, the CGI was also top-notch as well. They really were. And Black Adam was just an absolute badass as well. And... he does, however, get wounded by a grenade which contains an element called Eternium, which knocks him unconscious. So he's taken to the house of Adriana, where her son is as well. Now, meanwhile, the public government official Amanda Waller appears, and we get a pretty cool appearance by Viola Davis reprising her role, which was definitely nice to see. She learns of this incident, and she contacts members of the Justice Society of America, which consists of Hawkman, played by Aldis Hodge, and also as well... Cyclone, who is played by who is played by Quintessa Swindle, and also as well Atom Smasher, played by Noah Centineo, and of course as well one of my favourite parts of this film, guys, one of the shore stealers, which of course will definitely cause Dr. Fate, played by Pierce Brosnan, and like, wow. Now, while of course Black Adam gets a shine in this film, guys, as a main character, I love how they also gave lots of presents to the Justice Society of America, and they finally introduced him really well. They did it so well, and they had really cool moments, and I definitely think that Pierce Brosnan was an amazing standout in the film as Dr. Fate, and I think I regard as probably my second favourite role of his behind James Bond, because he really did an amazing job playing Dr. Fate in this. And apparently, guys, as well, his costume that he wears here, this costume is a motion capture suit that Brosnan wore. Yeah, the costume is CGI, and the CGI for it was absolutely incredible. Like, if I didn't know it was motion capture, I'd have thought it was like a real suit he was wearing, but no, it's a motion capture. Like, wow, I could not believe it. This is definitely a really amazing film, thanks to these appearing alongside Black Adam. And so they get sent to Karnak to take Black Adam into custody. So Black Adam, of course, regains consciousness and he leaves, and he notices that Karnak has changed, you know, compared to how it was when he was ruling almost 5,000 years ago. And Adam, of course, is fighting the intergang troopers, but the Justice Society of America arrives in time to stop him, and they explain that he was not a saviour in his time, but instead a madman who was imprisoned, not entombed. And we also got a twist, guys, where it's also revealed that Ishmael, who is one of Adriana's colleagues, is actually as well a member of the gang, you know, the intergang, and yeah, and so that was definitely a good twist right there, absolutely. And he chases after Adriana's son, who is called, I think he's called Amon. I think it's called Amon, yeah. I liked Amon. He had pretty cool scenes in this film, and he definitely had a very nice interaction with Black Adam that I did like to see as well. And so Amon has stolen the crown, and Black Adam, Adriana, and the Justice Society of America intend to use the crown to trade for Amon. They do reach Ishmael, and he reveals to him that he's actually the last descendant of King Ankot, and he wants his place on the throne, so he demands the crown by threatening to shoot Amon. So Adriana does give him the crown to save Amon's life, but he betrays her goals. He double crosses his words, and then he shoots at Amon. But thankfully, Adam, you know, flies into it very quickly and stops the bullet. But he loses control again, and he ends up destroying the hideout with his power, and this causes it to be disintegrated. So yeah. And I gotta say, guys, this movie for me was rated 12A, but I gotta say that the kills in this were definitely pretty brutal and graphic. Like, wow. I heard that part of this movie was going to be rated R, but it was torn down a bit. But in this movie, they definitely kept in some brutality, I will say that. Like, many of the members of Intergang were, like, disintegrated and, you know, charred with a lightning. Goodness me. And Ishmael's death was no exception as well. Yeah. And when it comes to the Justice Society of America, you know, they had lots of great moments in this movie, it really did. I liked Aldous Hodges Hotman. He was definitely very good in the role, in my opinion. And I also, as well, definitely, you know, as well, I also think, you know, this movie is like a darker contrast to Shazam, in my opinion, a little bit like a darker version of Shazam. And it definitely did it very well, but it does, however, have the essence of, you know, lightheartedness in it, and that's thanks to Atom Smasher, because I found him pretty funny, guys, yeah. I thought he was actually a really funny comic relief from the movie, and I think he played, and I think as well that Noah Centineo played him very well. And what's really cool is we even got a camera appearance as well by Henry Winkler as Atom Smasher's uncle, who is called Al Pratt, who is of course the previous version of Atom, which is pretty cool. And yeah, so I did like how he got a, you know, like an acknowledgement of Atom, like an acknowledgement, which was definitely nice to see. And he's given the suit to. And he's given the suit to Atom Smasher, who is Albert Rothstein in this, yeah, Albert Rothstein, yeah, that's who it is. So, after Ishmael's death, Adam flees because he feels really guilty. He reveals to Hotman that he's not Karnak's ancient champion Teth Adam, but in fact the champion's father. And knowing that Adam's son called Hurot, I think it's called Hurot, yeah, was invincible, the king's assassins elected to execute Hurot's family instead to avenge their king, which includes Adam and Hurot's mother. So Hurot then gives his power to his father to save him, which turns him into Black Adam, only for Ankot's assassins to kill the now mortal Hurot. So after Hurot's death, Adam then slaughters all the king's men, and he destroys the city before he gets summoned by the Wizards of Shazam, who've imprisoned him because they deemed him unworthy. So this was, you know, the flashback which we saw via hologram, of course, in Shazam, which is definitely, yeah, I love how this movie finally showed that. So, because he feels incapable of becoming Karnak's champion, Adam decides to surrender to the Justice Society of America, and he gets taken to an underwater prison where he's put into, like, you know, some sort of, like, you know, he's put into, like, you know, suspended animation in a tank. After this, however, Dr. Fate senses the future, and he sees a future showing that one of the members of the team is going to die. And it appears as though it's going to be Hawkman that's going to die, guys. And as they return to the city, it's revealed that Ishmael did actually get killed by Adam on purpose while he was wearing the crown, because it meant he could be reborn as the host of Sabbac himself, you know, the demon. And he rises from the underworld to claim his throne, so yeah. And I got to the CGI to do that was actually really good. Very impressive. Like I said, guys, the visual in this would be beautiful, in my opinion. So after this, the Justice Society of America then arrive to try and stop Sabbac. And he summons the undead from the underworld to Karnak to rain destruction on it. And I do also like as well how at one point Amon actually summons the people, you know, getting them to, you know, take part and fight. So I like how we got a sense of, like, you know, the city coming together, which is definitely nice to see. And the Society of America prepares to fight a Sabbac in the ruins of Angkot. However, Fate does like a force field to prevent the others from going in, and it reveals that there can be a third option to the future that he saw, being that he can actually prevent Hawkman's death by sacrificing himself. So Hawkman is of course again, and he tries to break through with his mace, but Fate, however, you know, keeps him out, and then he goes into the ruins, and we got a pretty cool fight scene where he's fighting Sabbac on his own. He even used many powers, which he has. He duplicates himself and uses powers. And at one point, he even talks to Adam telepathically, saying, you know, that he's needed. I think it was like an astral projection, which was definitely really cool. Oh yeah, really nice to see. Then sadly, Sabbac does kill Fate by disintegrating him, but his helmet still remains there. So yeah, poor Fate, but he definitely had a very worthy sacrifice, in my opinion. Yeah, absolutely, because he was able to, you know, awaken Adam, and he saved Hawkman's life as well. This causes the force field to then disappear, and this allows the others to fight in. But before Sabbac can kill the Justice Society of America, Adam arrives after breaking out of a prison, and he fights Sabbac, and we get once again, a really awesome fight scene. Like, this movie, guys, is full of fight scenes, and the pacing was just excellent, in my opinion. This film was like 124 minutes, right? And it doesn't feel, you know, that long, because the fight scenes are so well paced, in my opinion. It's just an absolutely thrilling ride from start to finish. It really is. And so ultimately, Adam does defeat him, and the way he defeated him was pretty brutal as well, because he literally cuts his face in half, and like, oh, that was definitely pretty graphic. Yeah, absolutely, yeah, really graphic. And yeah, so that was definitely a very satisfying defeat right there for Sabbac, and yeah. And the actor who played him, called Marwin Kenzai, played him very well, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm not really familiar with Sabbac, but you know, he is a character from the comics, and I like how they gave him, you know, the chance to shine in this movie, which was definitely nice to see in his cinematic debut. So after he's killed, the Justice Society of America then depart on good terms with Adam. You know, they say they had a really fun time working with him as a team, and yeah, they were definitely a very good addition to the cast. You know, very likable characters, in my opinion, really were. And yeah, I think after the characters in this, I definitely, you know, I don't think any of them were unlikable, in my opinion. I liked all the characters in this movie, really. And yeah, I did of course as well like Mohammed Amr as Karim, you know, Adriana's brother, and also James Kusadi Moy as Samir. You know, everyone else was really good, in my opinion, in this. And we as well got an appearance as well by Jennifer Holland as Amelia Harcourt, which is nice to see as well. And yeah, so after, of course, after the Society departed, Adam accepts a new as a protector and ruler of Karnak, and he destroys the throne and looks over the city, and then it's when he finally comes up with his new nickname, of course, and it's implied to, of course, be Black Adam, because before he can say it, you know, the screen fades to black, and then we got the credits. Now, one rule that I have with regards to cinema, guys, when you go in to see a superhero movie, is please stay for the credits, because you could miss something, right? And, right, in the mid-credits, we got something which was really, really awesome, guys, right? And I could not believe it, right? I mean, there wasn't much of a reaction to this because wasn't much people in the cinema, surprisingly. It was only me and a fair few others, surprisingly. But yeah, this was definitely an awesome scene, though. So in this mid-credit scene, Adam gets a message from Amanda Waller, and she wants him to not leave the country. And she says that she can send, several of her associates to him, to fight him. And Adam says, send them all. And then he destroys the device which he's talking to him on. And then, after that, we get loads of smoke, but then we see a figure coming through the smoke, walking towards him. And guess who shows up, guys? Take a wild guess, right? It's none other than Superman! Yep, that's right, guys. Superman returns in this scene. Like, oh my god, right? I could not believe it, right? Oh my goodness. So the leaks were true, guys. Yeah, the leaks showing, Henry Cavill returning. That was real. Like, oh man. I was so happy to see Henry back, guys. And yeah, I'm so glad that Dwayne Johnson fought hard to get Superman in this movie with Henry Cavill back. Yeah, that's why Dwayne has my respect, guys, for bringing Superman back. Because, yeah, right, I think Warner Brothers' direction's been pretty ridiculous, how they've not had Superman in more things, which is stupid because he's the one who started the franchise of DCEU, guys. So surely he should appear more, right? And thankfully, this scene has him appear where he walks out to a smoke saying, it's been a while since the whole country, world's been worried. Then he appears, and I loved his costume, guys. He wears, his blue costume, and they gave it, like, brighter colours, too, which reminds me a lot of Christopher Reeve, Superman a little bit, and it was definitely nice to see. And I think he also had his curl, too, which is really nice to see. So it looks like he's looking more like his comic counterpart now, which is pretty cool. And then he says, Black Adam, we should talk. And then that's it, guys. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm so happy that Henry Cavill came back for this cameo, I really am. And I knew he would come back, guys, because last year when this film was being made, Henry posted on his Instagram he was going to be going to America to do some filming for something, and I looked at his upcoming projects, guys, like Argyle and In All the Homes 2 and The Witcher Series 3 and whatever, and none of them, as far as I know, were filmed in America, as I've looked up. So I had a feeling he was going to America to film this cameo, and hopefully more things of Superman. I really hope so. I really do. And because of its ending, I really want there to be a movie where, Superman and Black Adam are like facing off. That would be just awesome. I'll 100% see that. And apparently, guys, the sequel to this film is in development. And I am so hyped to see the sequel, absolutely. Like, this movie is probably the reason why I'm still interested in DCU. Because this movie was just mind-blowing from start to finish. And I will 100% see the sequels now. My thoughts on DCU as a whole is mixed, though, because for some things I'm not watching. For example, I refuse to watch Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom because I hate Amber Heard. I'm not watching anything which he's in for a single second, no way. Hashtag I stand with Johnny Depp. I also refuse to watch The Flash because I hate Ezra Miller, and also because I've been hearing it's going to wipe out the Snyderverse of the DC, which is terrible, isn't it? So I'm not watching that movie, hell no. Do not care about it. And yeah, but I will 100% watch Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and definitely as well the second season of Peacemaker, because I love the first season, apart from Ezra appearing in the final episode, sadly. And if this movie does its sequels as planned, I will 100% give it a watch, yeah, because, like, this movie was just absolutely incredible, guys. Just absolutely brilliant. The movie which was definitely needed for me to continue watching DCU, because this movie was just absolutely awesome. Like, one of my favourite superhero comic book movies of all time, in my opinion. Oh, wow. Just absolutely incredible movie. Yeah, I love this movie. And this is a movie I'll definitely be getting on Blu-ray as well, 100%. Absolutely. So, guys, this is me doing my review for Black Adam, which I just got from watching. And if I was to give this movie a score out of 10, guys, I'm going to give this movie a full-blown 10 out of 10. Like, this movie was just absolutely incredible. I didn't have any problems with it whatsoever because I love this movie. Just absolutely incredible. If you haven't seen it, I'd recommend you go watch it right now because you definitely need to see this movie. It's just absolutely awesome. Just absolutely incredible. So, yeah. Oh, man. So, guys, this is me doing my review for, of course, this year's Black Adam. So, you know the drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to comment what you guys thought of Black Adam. If you've seen, what your thoughts on it in the comments below. Also, be sure to join Team Power Press and subscribe on this coming future. If you would like to be a member, you can join in peace. That's all in the description. And I'll see you all later.